Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcasts on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Yo, back at it again. You see it, JC Bossman, JC Sports Report Boss. We here with you. You see my man repping the 901, looking like Penny Hardaway. It's JC. What's good, bro?
Man, what's going on, boss? What's happening?
Man, getting ready for these conference finals, brother, this weekend in Indianapolis, my guy.
Yes, sir. It's about that time, man. Playoffs are here, baby. The finals are here. Conference finals are here, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, look, the Hawks and Grizzlies are done early, so I found me some work.
Gotta do something, man. I feel you.
With the pace.
I feel you, bro.
Now, bro, we was there at Game 4 against Thunder, who would now just now advanced. Memphis, we didn't know if Tom Slow be the head coach. He kind of was like, yeah, he'll take it, but he ain't gonna beg for it. But a little bit that week went along, and finally made him the official head coach of the Grizz. So what has been like the tone down in Memphis about somebody slow becoming the head coach, replacing Taylor Jenkins for good?
Yeah, so to answer the question, it's been like a wait and see approach. I believe when Eastlow was asked that question, I think that was after Game 3.
Game 4, after the game even.
Yeah, about if he wanted. I guess it was at the Game 4. If he wanted the job or not, man. I think he already knew he was gonna get it. That's why he kind of gave like a whatever, answer to it. So I think he already knew that it was his job at this point. I think that was already something him and old boy, Kleiman pretty much already guaranteed him that spot, right? So based off of that, and then also based off of what Ja had to say about him and other players, during the end of season interviews there, you almost get the sense that they actually like dude, and they want to see what maybe a full season under Isolo, would look like, like I think he's done a good job in a short period of time of at least winning the guys over. Now, I think his biggest challenge is going to be, can he win the fan base over, right? Because he had about a 15 game sample size, including the regular season and playoffs, and that left a lot to be desired there from a fan standpoint. So I think it's going to be crucial. I think the Grizz have to get off to an amazing start for next season. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those starts where they jump out the gate, like a 10-2, 15-4 type of record, in order for the fan base to really get behind this new coaching regime, man. Because a lot of fans, we're thinking, okay, well, if Jenkins is out, let's get a veteran, proven, winning coach in here. Somebody that has a winning pedigree. So this guy, he's a complete unknown, but he's won over the players, and now let's just see if he can win over the fan base early next season.
And JC, this has been a trend. Like, they kept Miss Johnson down there in San Antonio. He was the interim, kind of lifted off him as well. So, I mean, David Adams probably going to get the job in Denver as well. So, another interim guy. So, they're giving these interim guys opportunity to get the main job. Look at Doug Christie in Sacramento. Interim coach got removed. So, bro, this new trend, these interim guys keeping the jobs, kind of like weird, because you thought it'd be a robust year of coaching changes where guys can get back in, at least the retreads could, but
right.
But Phoenix is going a young first-time head coach for that new head coach whenever they pick it. So, like, what's your thoughts on this new trend, kind of these GMs going with the in-house interim guy over an outsider that you have to pay big money to, or it's about saving money for the owner?
Yeah. I like it. I like the new trend that's happening. Normally you're right. Back in the day, we would get, the veteran, retread coach, like both Van Gundys, your Budenhausers, guys like that, who have multiple stints at different cities, different teams. Normally that'd be the case, man. But yeah, it's definitely been a trend lately. Giving these guys a shot, if it's an interim basis, or maybe somebody that's been, an assistant coach for a team for a long time, giving them a shot. So, like I said, I like the moves, man. And, so far, I mean, pretty much, it's been successful as far as these young guys getting a chance and, leading their teams to the playoffs and everything, man. So as long as that's the trend, those coaches are becoming successful, I think you're going to see that more and more now. These veteran retread coaches are going to pretty much have to retire or go into TV or go into, being an assistant somewhere, because I think the days of, seeing a coach in multiple cities is pretty much coming to an end, man.
Like Doug Christie, JC, he hired my first coach with the Hawks, Mike Woodson, to be this lead assistant with Bobby Jackson to help him on the bench. Damon Millins with the Lakers, my former coach of the Hawks. Lloyd Pierce is with the Pacers, social head coach. He used to be with the Grizzlies as well. So,
right.
And what I'm leading to is going to be a really crucial. See, who is Tomas Islo hire, or who is he allowed to hire? Because we know Taylor Jenkins was not allowed to hire his staff, and Zach Kleiman was behind that. So, who is Kleiman going to allow him to hire for his staff? Is very key for Islo going forward as well.
That's a great point, because definitely, like you said, we know this past season, as far as with Jenkins, his staff was pretty much handpicked by Kleiman. He pretty much let all of Coach Jenkins' guys go, brought in a bunch of guys, including Isolo. I think it's going to be definitely important to see what happens with that. As long as I think the Grizzlies keep there's one assistant coach in mind. He's been with the teams forever as far as uh, my man Jason March. He's been with that team forever. He was a lead assistant this year. He's been the D League hustle their coach, man, down there in South Haven. And like I said, he kind of came up under kind of like how Spoelstra came up with the Heat, kind of like a video coordinator. That's how he got his start. So he's been with the organization for years, man. And like I said, he served the role as the lead assistant. So as long as you can kind of keep that continuity going, with him being the lead assistant and maybe a couple other guys who are familiar, with the organization, with the team, and maybe I can see Eastlow bringing in some guys, from overseas, to help him as well that he's familiar with. So, I think you're right. As long as there's a good balance, a good chemistry there, as far as the coaches go, I think that could be a very good look, man. But that's a big point, to make there, man. Is Eastlow will get full reign to bring in his guys, man, or is it going to be a committee approach again, and we'll climb and have a say in who he brings over.
Yeah, and I do believe this, that Zach Kleiman probably made him the coach because he could have some control still too. Like, hey, without me, you don't have this job, so he can be more involved like he wants to, and put his fingertips and put his input on this roster and his coaching staff and how it's coached. Because you're my guy. I made a change for you, so I feel like part of him going to Isolo was so he can have that control as well.
For sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Because his job, his Kleiman's job is tied in, to the success of Isolo. So he's definitely going to do everything he can, to make sure that he's successful, and also to make sure that Kleiman is able to pretty much have a say on whatever goes, as far as with the moves being made, assistant coaches, whatever the case may be. Kleiman's definitely going to have his fingerprints on it.
Now, Jason, looking like the Ja Morant's probably going to be back based on things that we're hearing and moves is kind of what we're seeing. But it just seems like to me, it just screaming like to me, JC, that Desmond Bane's the odd man out, especially in this new CBA environment, in this apron environment. His contract can be used to bring in some solid depth into the roster that you can play in the playoffs. And so that you can play, and know that you can trust. Because we just watched Denver. They had 7 guys they could trust. The Grizzlies have guys in the roster, but you saw he's only trusted 7 guys. Even when Ja was out, he said we're a 7-man rotation. So it looks like Desmond Bane's contract has to be the contract to use to get back depth and have fine guys you can trust come playoff time.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we were talking amongst the media as far as like who you think would be the odd man out this summer if they were to make a move. And to me, Desmond Bane, it would be the obvious choice. You're talking about a guy who's good, right? But has shown, at times that he's a little bit streaky. When he's hot, he's hot. When he's cold, man. And he also could be a liability on the defensive end as well, man. So, if you're going to look at, where you can make moves and, use the contract to bring in depth, it's definitely him, making what he's making, over $200 million. And the fact that, he's not, I don't think Desmond Bane will ever be an all-star. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I feel like if you had to let one of them go out of the big 3, you definitely going to start with the guy who's not an all-star, right? So Desmond Bane, I think it would be the obvious choice. Now I'm not moving him unless I can get something solid as far as, if it's not a player of the same caliber, but like you said, multiple players that you can bring in and add some veteran depth to this team, man. So it's going to be an interesting summer, man. And what's crazy is Des is one of my favorite guys, right? He's one of my favorite guys to talk to, man, after the games, and he's just a likable person. But I think in order for this team to get better, something has to give. You cannot go into next season if everything's still intact the way it is. I'm not saying blow everything up, but there has to be a substantial move in order for this team to get better next season. So if you want to start with Desmond Bane and try and move his contract, I think that'd be the ideal spot to start it. And then, hey, I'm taking calls on Jaren also. It's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to be here as well. Even though you would lean to think that he would be, but if I can get a great deal, if Milwaukee, if Milwaukee called me and said, look, Giannis has been saying he likes Memphis, right? And which I got going on down here. Give us Jaren Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And we can work out some other details as well, as far as, draft picks and other players. But if there could be a Jaren Jackson for Giannis swap, sign me up, man.
No doubt. I think this lane will come into it, JC, with the apron.
Mm-hmm.
Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract is so low.
Yeah.
To make the money work, so you probably would have to do Bane and Jackson to get to Giannis, which that's still Giannis, but that's something Climate would do.
I'm listening. I'm not opposed to it, bro. If I could package both of them to get a Giannis,
I would do it.
I'll do it, and some other shooters too. Come on now.
Because then you can run a John Morant, Giannis pick and roll that you can't really stop.
Think about front line with Giannis and Zach Edey. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I would do it now. If I know I would do that deal, but Zach Kleiman may not want to do a deal, but I know I'll do it for sure.
In a minute.
For sure. And let's talk about the Thunder, bro. Like, the Thunder advancing against Denver in Game 7. Denver's ran out of gas in Game 7. Talk about the Thunder. He only played 8 guys in Game 7. He was playing 10 against Memphis in the whole series, but I feel like their coach made some errors with the foul up 3 thing in Game 1, questionable challenge late in Game 3. So they should have beat them in 5 or 6 games, to be honest with you. But I feel like their coach let them down in that regard and forced the series to go a little longer than it had to be. But maybe they need that experience anyway to kind of grow as a team.
Yeah,
so maybe it's to get from the coach, their coach. Maybe they all can correct themselves together.
Exactly.
But thoughts on during that series, bro?
Yeah, no, you exactly reading my mind there, man, as far as this experience factor. Because you got to think about Oklahoma City being such a young team, such a young, inexperienced team, being as great as they were in the regular season. They haven't really been through a series yet where they've had to go through the fire like they had to go through with this one, right? Going 7 games. So I think this is only going to benefit them. Was there some mistakes made? Yeah. Did certain guys not play well, like Jalen Williams, during the series? Absolutely. But you're still, that's to show you how good they are. They are still talented enough to overcome coaching mistakes, to overcome Jalen Williams not being good on the road, or, he really wasn't good up until yesterday, really. So the fact that you got the MVP, and man, can we talk about Alex Caruso?
Yeah.
Can we talk about his plus minus yesterday? That man was a plus 40 for the game yesterday. I think when he was guarding, I saw a stat when he was guarding Jokic straight up. Jokic was like 2 of 5 with like a couple turnovers. You know what I'm saying? It's like the effect that Caruso has on winning. Players like that, that's what helps, guide a team, lead a team to a championship, man. So, and every team is looking for Alex Caruso type. A guy's 6'5", can guard multiple positions. He shoots the 3, I think a 35% clip. You need guys like that, man. And so that's what kind of gives me confidence to believe that Oklahoma City, despite struggling at times in this series, they still have enough talent, enough depth to beat anybody, man. Will Minnesota be tough? Could this be another 7-game series? Absolutely. Because Minnesota, I think they feel like at this point they've arrived, being the fact they made the conference finals last year. They knocked on the door. So it's going to be a great series, and could I see a scenario where Ant-Man and Minnesota, can win? Absolutely. But they got to take care of the ball. You got to take care of the ball. They've had turnover issues. Oklahoma City is great at forcing turnovers. So if you can find a way to maintain, take care of their ball, Mike Conley got to be at his best. Ant-Man can't turn the ball over. Julius Randle, who had 5 turnovers in the last game they played, man, he has to take care of the ball as well. So it's going to be a big series, man. But yeah, Oklahoma City, man, if I had to put bet money on it today, man, Oklahoma City would be my favorite though to win it all still.
No, let's talk about Denver real quick. Or what do you think? They're a team with the C-base killing them, man. They lost KCP. They couldn't retain Bruce Brown because of CBA and Jeff Green, those guys. And, they pretty much had 7 guys in the play. And one of them was Russell Westbrook, who kind of, he's a gift on a curse sometimes. So talk about how the CBA is really affecting people and how you can't have the luxury of paying guys like Michael Porter, Desmond Bain a lot of money when every dollar counts in this new CBA in this apron world. And then you see what Denver only had 7 guys they could trust. And they run out of gas after 2 7-game series.
Yeah, man. And Denver could find themselves in a Milwaukee Giannis situation pretty soon with Jokic, right? Jokic could be like, you know what, man, we got the one chip a couple years ago. It's obvious that, this roster is not talented enough to compete to win a championship at this point, right? They're gonna have to find a way to improve the roster and add depth to keep Jokic happy. So, but as far as this series, you gotta give them credit for just battling and competing the way that they did, knowing that Porter Jr. had the shoulder issue, knowing that Aaron Gordon was hurt with the hamstring, right? He shouldn't even been out there.
No,
Like
he
that
shouldn't have
type
been
of
out there at all.
injury. That type of injury takes like a month to recover from. His hamstring pull was worse than Steph's. So, based off of that fact, he was just out there battling, trying to do everything he can, for his teammates. But in a way, he kind of, I think hurt the team more by being out there, even though he did contribute to early rebounds. But you could just tell, he didn't have the explosion. He wasn't going to be able to get after, chase after loose balls or anything like that. So, you got to give him an A for effort, the whole team, for the way they battled. But at the end of the day, you're right. They just don't have enough pieces, man, enough horses like they used to a couple years ago, because you're right. Eventually you have to pay guys, and you can't afford to keep everybody, man. So when you lose the depth that they lost, it shows. Even though their young guys played well, I thought, Strathers, I think he has talent. I could see him contributing in the future, but they need more horses, man. They really do, in order to compete out there in the West.
No doubt. And then we go to the East here. So as we saw earlier, I will be in Indianapolis for game 3 and 4 of Knicks and Pacers. And the Knicks got by the Celtics after Tatum. But the Tatum game was over anyway. They was going to lose that game anyway. But Boston style play, JC, that hold 3 threes and ISO ball. It's great when it's great. When it's not, it's not. And they was up in 5 games, up by 14 points or more in 5 of those 6 games and lost series because of the way they play. And, they was able to get together again in game 5. The tail went down, but Missoula ball has its flaws. I mean, I saw it when they played against the Hawks. I mean, like, the Hawks series went to 6 games because of the Missoula ball back in 2023 because of how they play. Like, they should swept the Hawks, but they didn't. But it's like that. It works, but when it works, it does not work. And you got that diversify your offense to be able to go inside and cut, pass, not just take turns shooting threes around the horn. And that fell flat. And the Knicks won that series because of it.
For sure. Like I said, it's great when those 3-point shots are falling, man. But that was one thing a lot of people said going into the playoffs. Hey, if that 3-point shot's not falling, Boston could be in trouble. And we saw that, happen. And what's crazy is it's like, Boston does have the size, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like they're a small team out there, and that's the reason why they're jacking up threes, like that's their only way to win. Like, they got size. So the fact that Missoula is so stubborn to the point of, we've won this way in the past, we're going to continue to do what we do, as opposed to making adjustments and, feeding the post more often, man, or driving, getting to the hoop, man, getting the fouls. I would be concerned about that if I was, Boston front office, man. Like, this guy, hey, man, you got to make adjustments. You won a championship one way last year. But obviously, when that 3-point shot's not falling, man, we need, Tatum pre-injury. We need Brown, go slash, man. Get to the basket, create shots, create for others, So, yeah, man, that was a big difference. Like I said, they were up, double digits, multiple games, in the series, but you're going to live and die with that 3-point shot, and it killed them, man.
And the Pacers are going to run you out of the gym because I watched them with the Cavs, man. They wore the Cavs down.
Yes, sir.
The Cavs blew games because the Pacers, they I know it's a pun, but they keep Pacers the highest in the NBA. They don't stop. They run you.
They going
to only play 7 guys, and the Thibodeau effect going to come in. If the injuries going to play on in minutes. And they playing 10 guys deep. You playing 7.
And that's why, I think, speaking of Indiana, man, like you gotta shout out Carlisle, Coach Carlisle, man. Like the fact that he was able to win one way in Dallas, more of kind of a defensive minded approach, right? To now being up tempo, and run and gun, because he's adjusted to the talents of the team, man. That's what a real coach does. So, everybody's already, advanced to the Knicks to the NBA Finals. Hold on, man. Hold on there. You know what I'm saying? Not so fast, because Indiana is going to have something to say about that. All right, especially if they can get up and down and kind of dictate the tempo of the game. Because the Knicks are another team, they don't have a whole lot of depth either now. Once you get
7 dudes.
right.
Mitchell Robinson and Miles McBride. And maybe a little bit of campaign for Memphis.
Exactly. Because, we know Tibbs likes to run his guys, his starters, at least 40 minutes or more. So, other than, like I said, other than campaign, other than McBride,
and Mitchell Robinson.
And Mitchell Robinson, like, who else does he count on that he can count on off that bench? So, in Indiana, we know at least can go 10 deep, so.
10.
Exactly, man. So we're going to see. It's going to be a great series.
Selfishly, I want to keep on working. So I'm going to Pacers in 5 or 6.
Sure.
Selfishly, because I know they're going to run them out the gym.
Exactly, man.
Because Tibbs going to wear it down.
Exactly.
Because Tibbs is going to run on 40 minutes, and that pressure keeps on coming.
Exactly. So Tibbs going to have to trust somebody else off that bench, I think, man. Like, so who's going to be that guy who hasn't had a lot of, runs so far in the playoffs? There has to be one more off that bench, I think, for the Knicks to have a legitimate chance, man.
Yeah, he had to go from Shamet, Achua, or DeLon Wright.
You know what? I mean, and this is no Memphis bias or nothing, but I give Precious Achua an opportunity, man. Because he's a guy that can get up and down the court. He's big. You know what I'm saying? He's physical. He can create his own shot. So Precious Achua, man, he may be the one that you see get more minutes than normal, man.
No doubt. Well, brother, here's some stories here really fast, brother. I sent you a story today, brother. What made me laugh? A Florida man was arrested after 2 a.m. booty call, a tip up the wrong house. All right, bro, how's it even happen?
You know what? Normally, you would think that's a crazy Florida story, but I could see that happening anywhere. Like, that could be a Nebraska story, right? Like, you get super drunk, right? We've all been there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that one I can believe more than the usual Florida story. You know what I'm saying? I hate that he got arrested for it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shit. Really, luckily, he should be glad he didn't get shot.
Yes, that part. Like, you know what? I think I can go where you can broke. You know how sometimes somebody will drop their location to you and it be an approximate.
Right.
So I can maybe she dropped him the pin.
Right.
And it went to the approximate.
Right. And what if it's like an apartment or condo unit?
Yeah,
you know
so you're right, bro. I can see that. That one's more believable.
It could happen, man. But thank God he ended up with a bullet in his head.
And bro, this one's crazy. Georgia Taylor's been showing her ass lately, JC. She said she thinks legal sex work could fix America's male problem of loneliness.
That's what Joy Taylor said?
Yes.
Oh, we know what time it is with Joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if Joy was not on TV, she would be like a high-priced prostitute down in Miami.
Escort, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, high-priced escort, man, down in Miami or something, bro. Like, I could easily see that. And then, Slick, I think if you knew her and offered the right price, I still think she'd be going, man. You know, like Joy. I mean, you got respect it, man. Like, she's kind of bold with her thoughts when it comes to sex and things of that nature, man. So,
hey, look, bro, I've told some of her friends in the media who I know personally, I wouldn't run with her. She gonna bring you down. Cause certain things she say, she shouldn't be saying.
It's like Joy is like the sexy red of
sports media,
female personalities, sports personalities, man. She's a sexy red, bro.
And bro, this was unbelievable, I guess, too. Now, bro, I've been in this place twice and I didn't like it. So it's Del Taco. It says Florida man smashes in, drops the window to being denied a meal at Del Taco. Del Taco ain't that good, bro, to be doing all that.
Nah, I'm familiar with the franchise. I've never had it per se, but I know they're located, like out southwest and the west and everything like that, California. But yeah, man, like I'm trying to think of a taco place that I did like late night, you know what I'm saying? Other than Taco Bell. But yeah, but on those nights, bro, drunk nights, man, like sometimes that's be the best food in the world, man.
Hey, my drink go to is Crystal. If one's open,
Yeah,
it's Crystal.
yeah,
Not,
definitely.
I'm not a Waffle House guy. I'm a Crystal guy.
Dude, I'm a huge Waffle House guy. Matter of fact, there's one down the street from my house. They got the best food in the world, man. At 1 in the morning, leaving the club, after I get through DJing, that's my spot right there, bro. I'm telling you, man, like you can taste the difference in it. Like they cook it with love. They cook it with care down here, man. All the other Waffle Houses, bro, no. And what's crazy is it's so many people that agree that the one that I'm talking about is the best one in the city, man, by far.
Waffle, now, I ain't gonna lie. Waffle House is like the club. You pull the Waffle House in Atlanta and pick you up some.
Now, it do be some sketchy characters out there because, no way it's set up now. You can't go inside, right? The one I'm talking about, you got to go to the little window. So it's a lot of sketchy characters that be outside because, there's some sketchy hotels that's right next to it. But, if you can get beyond the dangerous side of it, they got some good food, bro.
No doubt. And, bro, his story was funny. It came out of Charlotte. Popeye's gone wild, my brother. Charlotte manager shoots co-worker after alleged heated argument over burnt biscuits.
Wait a minute. So it was two co-workers?
Yes, two brothers in Charlotte.
Dang.
He shoots the co-worker over the biscuits being burned at Popeyes.
Hey man, look, them biscuits we already know, bro. You gotta have something to wash them down anyway. You know what I'm saying? So don't let them be burnt. Also, man, that's an offense right there, man. I can see, maybe some hands being thrown, but man, you should never come down and you shooting somebody over a burnt biscuit.
My man came to work strapped, JC, and pulled it out on the man.
Man, hey man, Charlotte don't play, man.
Was telling me it had to be one in the hood to do that. If you already Popeye strapped up, it had to be one in the hood.
You already know.
Had to be. and this was another Florida one, bro. Florida woman poses as an ICE agent to kidnap her ex-boyfriend's wife from work.
That's creative. That's definitely creative. So they were trying to leave work.
She dressed up as an ICE agent, knew the wife was from Haiti, and dressed up as an ICE agent to take her from work to get her ex back.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I definitely get points of creativity on that one, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but see, I would do that. All right, let's say, if I was dating Dominican or, you know what I'm saying, and I would, if my girl hit me up, she trying to leave work or something like that, if she ain't got no more PTO, you know what I'm saying, no more time to take off. I would do something like that, man. Dress up as an ICE agent, man.
Yeah, crazy.
Take out of work, yeah. That'd be crazy, man.
And then we got a Florida woman arrested for selling human remains on Facebook Marketplace.
That's the Florida story. That's definitely a Florida story right there, man. For sure. For sure. On the marketplace. He ain't trying to go to the dark web or nothing.
Facebook Marketplace, bro.
Okay, yep. That's Florida.
And then we got one more Florida one for you. Florida assistant principal charged after allegedly making student rub her feet and chest to, quote, show him what foreplay is.
And that's Florida also?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sounds about right, man. I just wish, man, you know how you hear the stories about, the teachers sleeping with the students? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, why nothing like that ever happened to us, man? Like a fine teacher. Remember, the teachers now, they look all right, man. But the ones back then, man, why couldn't I have, at least one fine teacher, man? She wouldn't have to sleep with me. Just somebody, you know what I'm saying, just flirt with me, so I could touch on or whatever, you know what I'm saying, fondler or whatever. But man, what else you said back then, man?
Bruh, I ain't gonna say her name, but there's a teacher who I had who now answering the door. I got to mess with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she became a cougar. I got to mess with her.
Wow.
Because she still had that ass she had when we was in high school.
Are you serious, man?
Yes. She was hard on me in school, but I was hard on her as an adult.
Wow. All right, we got to talk about this off air then, man. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to knock her off my teacher, but we were both adults, though.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
He's a cougar now, so yeah. So.
Okay. Nashville?
No, not there. Not there when I was in Florida as a kid.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. So I have to. It's funny. When I went to go cover the Magic game, I saw her.
Say word. Wow.
Yes. Shout out to you. You know who you are.
Hey, man.
So we got 3 more, bro.
That's crazy.
We'll go back but remember back in the old day about we had a problem with people leaving kids in cars?
Yeah.
Watch this. Ex-NFL linebacker Darius Taylor arrested after leaving his 6-year-old son in the car on a prostitution ring.
Wait a minute now. You say he left him in the car.
Yeah. To go get him some in a prostitution ring at the hotel.
Trying to get some.
Yeah, left 6-year-old in the car.
Oh, wow. It's already bad enough. You left him in the car. Eesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole dude ain't married, man.
Yeah, former linebacker in the NFL, Darius Taylor did that. Yeah, unfortunately.
I don't even remember, dude. Did he play a long time in the league?
He played for the Ravens for a little while.
Okay.
Linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. You can't leave the kid in the car. You trying to get some, bro. It's like, you got to pick a struggle now. Pick one or the other, man.
Yes, no doubt. This story has some Memphis ties to it, JC. Larsa Pippen said dating Malik Beasley was a mistake. I had COVID brain.
Since you had COVID, bro.
Yeah.
Man, Larsa Pippen is so washed now. Like, I honestly don't see what the attraction was with her, man. She looked like a bootleg Kardashian or something, bro.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah, like she's not sexy at all to me. Even back a few years ago, she really wasn't hitting on nothing, man.
And the last one, JC, some we celebrate the ancestors. Nottoway Plantation, which once enslaved over 100 black people, burned down in Louisiana to the ground. The biggest antebellum plantation left in the South was burned down in Louisiana. Ancestors everywhere are rejoicing, brother.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, man, for real, man. Kind of reminds me of that movie Sinners, man. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hey, judgment comes for everybody, man. You know, like I said, karma comes for everybody, bro.
No doubt. We'll wrap up, JC. What's your thoughts on this week's stories, man? What's your thoughts, brother?
Hey, man, Florida standing up, representing as always, man. But definitely my favorite story, though, is definitely got to be the one about the booty call, the 2 a.m. booty call, man. You know, that's my favorite one right there.
Yeah, so no doubt with JC, especially my brother. We'll hit this again next week, my guy. And I'll be doing it in the with you next week, brother, as we get ready for Game 4 of the Pacers-Knicks series up there.
All right, bro. Be safe, man.
No doubt.
All right, 1.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? Bet Online is your #1 source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers. including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online when the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.